What up friends, I'm James, your host, and today I'm going to be reviewing the newest Ladies Code mini-album, Code Number 3, Set Me Free. K-pop girl group Ladies Code are finally back after a 2-year gap between this mini-album and their last one with Stranger. Ladies Code have always struck a niche within the scene with their throwback pop sort of instrumentation, while also finding a balance between this retro style with modern pop styles. With 2 great singles prepping this album, it looked to be a bright return for the group, and there is quite a bit of good stuff here, although it ended up being more of a mixed bag than I would have liked. Set Me Free, the opener and one of the main singles for the album, starts off the mini-album fairly strong. There's a very fun and energetic guitar with a bright and bouncy bass line to keep the energy up. It reminds me actually of a lot of early 2000s pop hits, especially when that sort of digitized synth comes in. It sounds like something that Cooler Kids or something would have sang back in the day. The vocals are also very strong, as usual, with each member kind of having their own style and also bringing their own sort of flow and energy to the parts that they're singing. The retro sound isn't quite as throwback as some of the songs that they've done in the past, although I like this sort of idea of going back to retro pop sounds from the 2000s instead of beforehand. It's like a different form of retro, if you will. I also really like the lyrics about finally being free from a lover that's been acting indifferent towards them, and how if they want them to stay, they have to put in effort on their own. They kind of have to contribute to the relationship and not stifle the girls' freedom. Now, with New Day, the album starts to have a noticeable shift in instrumental styles. The more trendy pop bass line and beat, along with the drum machine, are pretty generic, especially coming off of the last song. It's kind of just night and day when it comes to instrumental complexity here. The chorus is definitely a highlight on this track, though, with the sort of electro bass and synth taking the song to some billowing new heights. Unfortunately, that's really the only standout part of the track for me, though. The piano on the bridge is nice, and their vocals are still pretty good, but it just doesn't really show off their talent or their style all that much. I do think the lyrics are fairly nice, though, finding love in different places such as perfume and sunny days, and even in self-confidence, and I think that's a nice angle to look at the idea of love. Now we have Neverending Story, kind of the obligatory Ladies Code ballad of the mini-album. It has some elements of their throwback sound with the synth and the piano, although the acoustic guitar and overall beat kind of bring it more towards the line of modern K-pop ballads, I think. There's very nice harmonies in the vocals, and I like how in typical Ladies Code fashion, they can make a ballad song more uplifting and inspiring rather than completely sad. It's an element of their charm that I think is shown off well here. And while the subject matter of breakups isn't exactly unique, I like the constant references to memories, especially with how sensitively the lyrics are delivered. I think picking a sort of way to express this topic of a breakup and sticking with it was a good idea. Jasmine, however, is probably my least favorite track on the mini-album. It showed some promise with the piano intro, but it just kind of devolves from there. There's a very standard snap beat with the generic bass line and build up to the drop in the chorus that just doesn't do much for me. I think the pan flute during the chorus is a nice sort of natural touch to the instrumentation, and Sojung's vocals here are top-notch, but no matter how good the vocals are, it just can't really make up for how bland the instrumentation is on this song overall. Weirdly enough, the lyrics are pretty sad for a more upbeat song like this, detailing their loneliness and how they're constantly reliving past experiences through the gifts that they were given, like flowers. The lyrics are way better than the instrumentation, and I wish it had more of an oomph to kind of express the lyrics better. Now we have Feedback, their single from a few months prior, and this ends the album, and it's just as fantastic as it was when I first listened to it. The bass line is incredibly smooth, the guitar picking is lively as hell, and the sort of MIDI brass samples just complement the other instruments so well. I also love all the subtle and quirky sound effects that are kind of just sprinkled in here and there. It's like a layer cake, but with an ensemble of sound. There's also quite a few different vocal melodies that Sojung, Sunny, and Ashley all kind of take turns with, and it adds a lot of variety to the verses and the chorus and just the overall sound of the song. It's a fantastic combination of these throwback pop rock sounds with a more modern twist, so it's not completely stuck in the past, but it also doesn't become very trendy or generic. It still has that sort of ladies' code identity. The keys on the bridge especially add this sort of nostalgic vibe that's very endearing, and I think it's a very infectious element to add to the song. The lyrics are great too, talking about how they're kind of trapped by past experiences and are trying to acknowledge them while also moving on. While the lyrics could be talking about a lover, I think the music video especially hints at the song is more about Rise and Yoonbi, the two former members of the group that unfortunately died a few years back. This is especially hinted at in how fondly they talk about the person in question here. Like, they still care about them, but they need to move on, and I think it's way more applicable that this is about their former group members than about just some random lover. There is definitely a very big connection that is still going strong here, that they want to acknowledge but also get away from. It's just an incredibly solid and touching song overall. Now with Set Me Free, there overall were quite a few standout moments on this mini album, but I can't help feeling a little bit disappointed overall. I feel like they put a lot of focus and energy into the main singles, but the B-sides kind of fell on the back burner a little bit. New Day and Jasmine especially don't even really feel like Ladies Code songs aside from the vocals. If you remove them, I probably wouldn't even be able to tell that it was Ladies Code. And this is unfortunate because Ladies Code have had some fantastic B-sides in the past. Overall, I thought this was a good project with a lot of missed potential. The singles were fantastic, but the other songs could have had a lot more attention brought to the instrumentation to kind of bring them up to speed and match the sound of the singles and make them sound less generic. They don't need to go the throwback pop route every time, but I think establishing their sound and making sure their sound is conveyed really well, but trying some different combinations of sounds, of pop sounds could work, or they could go the song Set Me Free route and try this throwback pop of a different era, like the 2000s, or maybe they can go 90s or something like that. Going the more standard modern pop route isn't really the way, and especially for a group this good, I would want to see a bit more depth to the instrumentation going forward like we had with their past few mini-albums. Overall, I'm feeling a strong 6 on Ladies Code Set Me Free. It was pretty good, and I really liked the singles a lot. But of course, we do have to talk about the album cover here, and I really like the album cover a lot. It's very reminiscent of some of their past album covers, especially Stranger and Mystery. They're kind of going for that sort of consistency here. I think the logo is really nice, the color choices are pretty great, I like the blue, and I like the sort of nostalgic photos vibes, and I like the sort of 20s era movie theater font that Set Me Free was in. I thought that was a good choice. Maybe it could have been gold to match the logo instead of the pink, but I thought it was good overall. But those are my thoughts on Ladies Code Set Me Free. What did you guys think about this mini album? Did it match your expectations, or were you let down a little bit? Let me know. And until the next one, farewell.